In my book, What's So Amazing About Grace, I tell about a rather startling phone call I got one day from the White House. It came early in Bill Clinton's presidency, and it went something like this. Mr. Yancey, you're invited to the White House next week for a private breakfast with the Clintons, the Gores, and 12 religious leaders. We need to know your Social Security number for a background check, any food allergies you have, and you'll have 5 minutes to answer this question for the president. Why do Christians hate me so much? Now, I knew most of the other people invited, and some of them joked that they really wouldn't need a full 5 minutes to answer that question. You see, President Clinton had already angered many Christians early in his term with some of his policies, especially those regarding abortion and gay rights. At that breakfast, President Clinton said he felt like a spiritual orphan. He had grown up Baptist, he'd gone forward at a Billy Graham rally, and he'd always attended church, singing in the choir. Yet in Washington, when he went jogging, he would see a bumper sticker that said something like, "A vote for Bill Clinton is a sin against God." He'd turn on the radio and he'd hear the head of Operation Rescue call him and his wife Ahab and Jezebel. A little later, I heard a very different kind of story from Hillary Clinton. She was invited to a Bible study attended mostly by the wives of congressmen. Some of us are Republicans and some of us are Democrats, some of us are liberal, some conservative, said the inviter. But we've got one thing in common. We all love Jesus. Well, Hillary Clinton said she rolled her eyes when she heard that. I've met some of those people, she said. I felt I should go for political purposes, but I should go loaded for bear. She prepared position papers on all the hot topics of the religious right, and she attended the luncheon. She was ready for anything, she said, anything except what happened. The moderator, and I believe it was Susan Baker, the wife of former Secretary of State James Baker, began by saying, "Mrs. Clinton, we're so honored to have you with us this morning. But before we begin, I'd like to say something. You know, there are many Christians who have not treated you as Jesus would want us to. We've gossiped about you, we've slandered you, told jokes about you. We haven't treated you with grace. And I'd like to start by apologizing. We're sorry. Will you forgive us?" As Mrs. Clinton later recounted that story, she told us, "I was ready for anything but that. I was totally disarmed by grace." By the end of that luncheon, I was asking those women if they knew of a similar group I could take my daughter Chelsea to. You see, she hasn't met many grace-filled Christians.